Today's guest is an old mate of mine. He's got many titles. He's an author, gangster, friends to CEOs, a consultant. He's had an incredible life. In fact, he's had 100 incredible lives. Recently released a book called The Consultant, which I've read cover to cover, and it's been a huge success. Welcome, Jay Malkoon.
Most people would say that you're a bad man.
Yeah, they're on point.
Notorious Comanchero Ahmed J. Malkoon was badly injured in the targeted attack as he left an Athens gym.
The car bomb went off. I knew straight away it was an explosion because you could tell the car lifted.
Police believe the explosive was dynamite.
Fucking the thing was blown the fuck up. You could barely see. Fortunately for me, the door was open. I think a lot of the energy was expelled through the door. That may have been what saved me. Long apprenticeship. 10 years incarcerated in one of the worst prisons in Australia. Some of the most hectic people, criminals, proper violent people, survived that for 10 years. And all the other stuff that we went through. So it's taken a lot of violence and a lot of experience to become softly spoken and calm.
Yeah, I remember when I met you years ago, you weren't as softly spoken or calm, but you always did have like a diplomacy about you, which is why I think you've been able to go between all the different worlds that you've transgressed and all the people you've met. Now, you start your book off with a bang, like getting blown up in Greece. Take us through that. I mean, it's probably the most incredible story. One, it's a miracle you survived at all. Two, it's a blessing that the hitmen were inept and not very good at their job. But take us through that day. You dropped the kids off at school.
I dropped the kids at school. Actually, it's really it's a little bit disturbing because I do the school runs every morning and it was a brand new Mercedes CLK SAMG fucking weapon, this thing. When I got to the school, there was a really loud screech under the bonnet. Like, I'd never heard anything like it before.
Weird sound.
Really weird. I panicked a little bit because I'd never heard that and turned the car off. And I got the kids out of the car and got them into their class and just didn't think about it again. I started the car, purred beautifully, and just didn't think about it again. So I don't know for sure, but it may have been the first attempt to designate the explosion.
With your kids in the car?
Kids in the car. Fucking dog.
Yeah. I mean, there's rules and sort of standards that you would think don't include that.
There were rules. There's no more rules, bro. No more rules.
I mean, that's pretty hectic. Right, so you drop the kids off, you go to the gym? You're a gym
Go to the gym. I train in the gym. And then another thing that happened that was really fucking weird is this particular person that greets me is in a position of a little bit of influence in the underworld. She sort of shrugged me and I thought...
This is at the gym?
At the gym. Well, that was weird enough for me to make a mental note to start carrying my gun again because I put the gun away because the kids... My kid almost found my gun once in my bag, so I thought, fuck this. But I made a mental note to start carrying this again just in case. You have to have a weapon on you, And I go to the shooting range every weekend, so I'm pretty competent with the bit. And then, so I just thought of that. Then I jumped back in the car, door's still open, and he designated it, and it went off. But it didn't knock me out, because I think all the energy went out the car door.
I think if that car door was shut,
I would have been fucked.
You would have been incinerated.
Yeah, well, I would have been blown to bits, because the car was blown to bits.
I know, like, we'll put some pictures up, Brownie. We'll download some footage and some news clips, and we'll insert that here in the story, because I know there's a heap of stuff. I watch a few of the podcasts you've done. They've dug up some pretty good footage, and one of the blind there with your legs mangled in the gutter.
Yeah, I've got all that.
Oh, you got all that? Cool. We'll send it through to Brownie. We'll put all that in. But Jay, so initially, okay, you go into combat mode, which you've been many times.
Yeah.
You think there's got to be a sniper now to finish me off just in case?
Even just to the bit, just run up and just put two in you.
So your vision narrows.
Vision narrows.
Your vision narrows. You become very, very focused. You forget about pain.
There is no pain.
Blocked out. You don't feel a thing, right?
There's no pain. It's just adrenaline. You just want to get out of this situation and just do your best.
Right. So you had no idea how fucked your leg was at this stage?
Well, I had to lift my legs out of the car because every time I went to put weight on them, there was no foot. It was just bone, shin bone. Particularly the right leg, that was fucking mangled. But so I put my knee into the door, positioned myself and just pulled myself out. I was pretty fit, pretty strong. I just held myself in the door and the roof and just waited, thinking, If anyone comes, they can either fucking fall left or fall right. I'm pretty fucked. But fortunately, because of the commotion, people started appearing quite quickly. And a young fella came across. I thought it might have been the shooter, actually. He came running up and he started dragging me. And then another kid on a scooter pulled up and they picked me up and put me on the road. Wait for the ambulance.
So you've gone from fight or flight, combat mode, to shit, I've just been blown up my legs. My foot's hanging off. I've literally got an ankle bone, some tendons, and a few toes.
I didn't worry about that.
Didn't worry about that.
I looked at that before I even got dragged away. I thought, we're going to cut that cam off, put one of those U-boot bionic foots on and just get on with it, mate. Who are we going to kill? How many? Let's get them all.
Right. And at what stage did you start thinking, who was it?
Straight away. There's a short list. I don't have many enemies. I have fucking cunts that are jealous, that don't like you because of who you are.
Yeah, we've all got them, but that's not enough of a motivator to go to that much trouble.
Nah, but look, there's also, you got to appreciate these days that there's cunning and there's fucking super cunning, mate. There's cunts that know how to manipulate situations, get you involved in situations that you have nothing to do with, and inspire other people to do dirty work for them. Like, this is common.
Yeah.
And they're cunning criminal. There's a few of them that are super fucking smart and all over that shit. That are doing lots of work while you're sleeping in the backgrounds, manipulating. Happens all the time. So I'm not saying that happened, but seriously, I haven't done anything to inspire that sort of reaction.
No, it was pretty much out of the blue because you've been out of the country for a long time. We've been living in Dubai for years.
I was getting ready to come back.
Okay, but you got out of the bikie world.
Yeah.
You've been in Dubai for years. You've been in Greece. So the word was out that you were coming back.
Yeah, the people knew.
Maybe that was it.
Maybe not. Who knows?
But you're still here.
I'm not going anywhere, bro.
Now, your rehab. I'm not like, obviously, if you read the book, and I seriously urge anyone, just loves a good story, true crime, but just true life, real tales, and also just an unstoppable positive attitude. It's worth a read. So you went to several countries with your rehab. You had bodyguards there the whole time.
I had a team with me in Greece. I always travel with a team. Like, you live with a team, you have a team. I've got a team here. I've got a team in Sydney. Team all over the world, bro. We're international. There's always boys available. But I had my boys in when it happened, obviously my offside, I came straight to the hospital, tooled up, had a couple other guys there. So I had a team with me because it was on. It was fucking on, So they wanted me, I was in hospital for about 4 weeks and they did a few surgeries and cleaned up. The Greeks did a really good job. They wanted me to wait till May to do the major surgery, like the muscle and skin flap.
But what must have happened? Was it March?
March 1st.
March 1st. So they're talking about 8-10 months' time.
No, they're talking about 6 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time. And I sort of, in my mind, I was
that month. So I thought you meant the year after. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought these cunts were just going to go on a fucking holiday. And I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to get on with it. Either way, I wanted to get up and get on with it. Like, you don't want to sit on your ass. You want to get on with it, right? I mean, you can get things done as well. Like, you just fucking fire missiles and whatever. But I actually wanted to be involved. Anyway, so then I, because you listen to other people, and I was told Germany has the best surgeons, London has the best surgeons. London was an issue to go for medical, although I had people there. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go to Germany. So I researched the best private hospital, went to Germany.
What city?
It was Hamburg. And it turned out to be fucking shit.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Shit. I think, you know what? It was I had a bad attitude, bro. I was really aggressive, and I turned on the surgeon as soon as I got there. So that didn't help.
Yeah.
They just fucked around with me.
But I mean, you don't actually have a bad attitude. Maybe the position you're in, your old bad attitude came back out because you've had your leg blown off. Someone's tried to kill you. Your family's been disrupted. Your life's been disrupted.
I know what happened
Moving
was,
plans.
I sent them the x-rays and the advice I was given. They said, no, you need this surgery done immediately. Deposit 50,000 euros and get your ass here. So we fucking drove 2 days in convoy to Hamburg, and we get there on a Thursday, and they go, the resident surgeon will see you on Tuesday. The fuck, that's why I turned. You wouldn't wait another 4 fucking days, you can't.
Especially when you had to pay up front, right?
Yeah, that was just deposit. They charged the anaesthetist, charged by the minute. One of my surgeries cost me 9,000 euros for anaesthetist.
9,000 euros
Yeah,
for one operation?
It was 19 hours. Yeah. They kept me under for 19. I had two of them, 2 19-hour surgeries. They keep you half dead for 19 hours.
What?
Do you know what happens when you wake up? You're really fucking thirsty.
What'd you feel like? Like just a Powerade or
Please,
something refreshing?
Give me some ice, give me anything. They won't give you anything.
Right.
Yeah. Funny. Anyway,
So from Germany then you went to Lebanon?
Germany, they fucked shit up really bad. They took out, I had a fixator, which was designed years ago. So they put round rings around your shin and pins everywhere to hold the
I've seen
bone.
them. Yep.
Proper. The fixator had my leg dead straight. This fucking German clown cunt dog took the fixator off and put a little steel plate in place of it inside my ankle. That was to support the mess that was going on down there. The very next day, the ankle slipped off it, so my foot turned into a banana, an S-bend. And they couldn't do anything about it. So they did another surgery for 7 hours, tried to correct it, didn't put the fixator on, and just fucked my whole leg. So I've gone back to where I was worse there than I was when I got blown up.
So where'd you go from there?
Lebanon. So I went to Lebanon, and there's some pretty good surgeons there. Unfortunately, I didn't meet all of them. One of them did a pretty good job. The other one is a fucking moron. So while I was there, I lost 2 centimeters of bone, so I wanted to stretch my leg to make it so my legs are the same height. So one of the many surgeries I had, I said, "Can you stretch the shin?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." We got the fixator on. All you have to do is turn these 4 screws every 6 hours, 1/4 millimeter, for 14 days, and it stretches. So you stretch 1 mil a day every 24 hours. So we did the surgery, and then 3 weeks later, we measured it, and still 2 weeks later, still the same distance, same separation. It hadn't grown.
This is even after you've been doing the screw tightening.
The shin, yeah. So this went on, and then we did it again another week later, and it still had not extended the 2 centimeters or anything. So we took an X-ray, and I said, "Have a look at that X-ray." I circled it and sent it to him on his WhatsApp. I said, "What's going on there?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I see that. Just keep going." So I did it for 65 days, and what had happened was he didn't separate the bone. The bone was still attached. So instead of stretching, it was bowing. So I ended up with a big fucking bowing machine. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fun and games. We fixed that. It's all fixed now. Fixed in Melbourne.
I mean, you're really mobile now. I know you had crutches for a while. You were like, how many operations did you have?
Few.
Yeah, I know.
Probably 15.
What, and 12 months, 15 months rehab?
Probably 12 months. 12 months, yeah.
And when I saw you again, you had a little bit of a limp. You still got a slight, limp to your gait, but not noticeable. You wouldn't believe that your foot was the best that it was.
Yeah, no, it's brand new.
They wanted to cut your leg off, didn't they?
Oh, no, that was definitely going to be everyone wanted to amputate it. Germany, Greece, Lebanon, except for Australia. Australia were good.
Really?
Australians don't give a fuck.
Good country, eh?
Just have a crack, mate.
Just
keep punching. If it doesn't work, then we'll cut it off later.
Joe, you've always had an unbelievably positive attitude. And look, I've been born with the same disposition, so I get it.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, I always think, yeah, but there's got to be something good come out of this. And I know when you did 10 years incarcerated at Pentridge Prison, in one of the worst prisons, the worst one in Australia, one of the worst in the world at the time.
Yeah.
You didn't lose your sunny disposition. You used it to learn, to grow, to learn how to read and write and be a better person. But you come out of there better off for the experience.
But prison can be a lot of laughs. You're still with blokes. I mean, you're locked up. You don't have your missus. And you don't get the personal affection that you're used to. But you're still with there's a lot of good blokes that are incarcerated. You still have a lot of laughs. You read a few books, do a few push-ups, and you go home. It's not the end of the world, mate.
To break another person, though. Or
A lot of people didn't survive it because they become. I'm only referring to a couple of people that I personally experienced that become dependent upon the system because they clothe you, they feed you, they lock you up, they turn your lights out. And if you succumb to that, you become dependent upon it. When you get out, I've noticed one particular guy, I don't want to say his name, he's a real good guy. He was lost when he got out of jail. He did 2 years jail. Fucked him. But my brother and I were not like that. We hated the system, we hated the screws, and we rejected everything. We wore our own clothes, we cooked our own food. We battled with the dogs every fucking day. We got nothing, and we wanted nothing. Some prisoners got favours. They got phone calls, they got visits, they got this, and we got nothing, bro. That's how we liked it. What we had, we took. That's it.
But as always, you did it on your own terms.
On my
You
terms.
and your brother punched on with prison guards and cops in court. You went there, you got dragged, you got threatened with solitary confinement. You always had each other's backs to the point where the prison were taking orders from you going, listen, we just don't want this mayhem. It's easier just to leave these two alone. Is that how you got through it?
We had one prison in particular, we had the whole fucking prison terrified, bro. They tried to separate us. Can't separate us. What a dumb move that was.
Yeah.
Fucking screws running up saying, nothing to do with me, please. Fuck off, you dog. They brought in the SOG, the dog squad, to come to this regional prison. Dragged me out of my cell at 6 in. I anticipated that. Politely asked me to get out of my cell at 6 in. They had a lot of respect. They didn't fuck around with me. And the head governor, the regional governor, said, what's going on? I said, you took my brother away. Sent me on the fucking van. He goes, I'll send you on Tuesdays, just no dramas. I said, no, sweet. A couple of lads punched on and broke someone's leg. Nothing to do with fucking me. Mate, they tipped the whole, he blamed me, the dog, tipped the whole jail upside down. It's just normal in prison for that to happen. And we got back a bit earlier. But the only problem we ever had is when they tried to separate us. Outside of that, we didn't give a fuck.
You really didn't, did you?
No, we always met in the slot in Pentridge if they separated us. So it was all good. They knew better. Even when I got more jail for playing up. When you're incarcerated, you can do a governor's court and they can give you up to 4 days jail. So I accumulated a bit more jail, probably like 16 or 20 days, not much. My brother wrote to the parole board. I said, look, I'm not really comfortable leaving the jail without my brother. And my parents wouldn't like it either because, they want us both home. So can I get a bit more time? So they granted him the extra time, knowing that we're better off, they are better off having us together than apart. Because if I'm away from him, I just fucking run amok, and so does he.
Right.
Right, when they separated us at one time, bro, I got the boys to get fuel. I got the biggest fucking nastiest shiv and ran around that jail, ran a fucking muck. They couldn't wait to get rid of me. So you're better off keeping us together than apart. When we're together, we don't play up so much.
And it was probably a different place back then. You were one of the last pairs at Pentridge.
I was on the last bus, bro. They kept me there to the last minutes.
Right.
But I liked it. I liked Pentridge.
Oh, mate, this is the irony of you that you come out of an experience like that, smile on your face, spring in your step, and always a great attitude. And then you get blown up in Greece, should have died, didn't, come out of it, once again, just with a sunny disposition, a spring in your step, albeit a little bit of a limp, but still the same positive Jay. And I know, you turned your life around, and I was looking at some of the parallels we had. I grew up in Bendigo, started working in a nightclub like you did when I was really young. I went and got pissed one night, they couldn't get me out, and they said, do you want a job? Yeah, that'll work. And I was sort of a big kid, probably couldn't fight like you could, but I was a good talker and had a fair bit of size and strength and bluff. So we both went through that, but you went on to own nightclubs. You were kicking goals in Perth before all this happened. And you'd worked out a way, I guess, to make money in the real world. One, with your property deals and, being just smart and savvy, being a hustler and always seeing an opportunity when it arose.
Yeah.
But also the consultancy work. I dabbled in a few little collections early on, but then I got into the gym world and just put my whole life into that. But you took it to another level with, corporates and CEOs and mining companies and some really big deals where you made some serious money without having to be a criminal.
Yeah. So if you go back to the early days, we just touched on, I found that the majority of my success came from listening to and hanging around older people with experience and with skills. And I just fed off their knowledge. So I did a development at 21. I owned a whole street at 21. And I did that with the guidance and help of Bess Martin, and a woman that had achieved that. She owned the property, she got the permits, she guided me through it. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It had to be a little bit naughty to raise the deposit, 40 grand, but I did that. And then moving forward from there, I found that hanging out with older people, usually 10 years senior than me, served me very well. So I never really hung out with people my age. However, now that it's reversed.
Yeah.
I still don't hang out with people my age, usually a lot younger.
Happens as we get older.
Opposite sex, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Kidding.
Yeah, but But my point being that, you always had that street smarts about you, and I think you were able to merge street smarts with great communication skills. One of the things I thought of when I thought of you, thought about all the chats we've had over the years, is that you've had this ability to reduce conflict by increasing cooperation. That you're smart enough to know it's not always about going to war with someone or punching on or threatening, but just to reduce conflict immediately, increase communication, cooperation, and get things done that way. And I know of a lot of your deals you've been involved in. You always go in with a nice approach and give everyone an easy way out.
Yeah, we try and get a happy resolution for everybody. Sometimes you can't, so it is what it is. But I don't like bullying or being bullied.
Same.
So I don't condone that sort of behaviour. So I would never do it. But if there's a job that comes up and there's it's obviously a conflict between two partners and they're dissolving their relationship, and there's a lot of hatred in the room, so we try and get a resolution that both sides are comfortable with. Sometimes someone's got to take a bigger hit than the other person, but it's usually not that big a fucking deal. Having said that, the one in London was a big deal. $100 million involved. There's a winner and a loser, but it is what it is. The winner was the winner for a fucking reason.
Right. But you've been able to navigate that certain little gap in life between, your world, their world, and the world in between, where you've been able to go in as a negotiator, as a consultant, get things done. And it's paid well.
Paid very well. Paid very, very well. It still does. I just did a job last week for a billionaire. And she got a good result. We got paid very well.
How long did it take?
It took 3 weeks, actually.
3 weeks.
There was a lot of coming and going, a lot of flying, but it was worth it for her.
But I guess when you get to a point where your reputation precedes you, someone says we're going to bring in the consultant, which everyone knows is you, then people will kind of sit up straight, pay attention, don't mess around.
Well, it's not, look, it's not the book. The book was entertainment. It's the apprenticeship and the respect.
I'm talking about your reputation of the years gone by, not so much the book, but the fact that all through that, people have known who you are, and how fair you are, firm, but fair.
No, we'll do what we need to do. There's no question about that. We won't take a backward step. There's plenty of capable people around. There's no shortage of willing and capable kids of all ages. To walk into a room with other respected people and get a result because there's mutual respect is, you need to do a long apprenticeship for that.
Now, out of nowhere, he became Jay the Bikie. Probably the least likely guy to be the president of a motorcycle club, getting around. I think from when you first went to the clubhouse, had a few drinks just to sort of see how it ran, thinking this could be run a lot better. It was only a matter of a couple of weeks and you were the sergeant at arms, and a month later you're Victorian president. I was sergeant immediately, and then I became president within 10 days. The president the current president, he wasn't all in, I guess. There was a couple of issues that I dealt with, and he just wasn't all in, bro. So I was going to tap out because at that stage, I wasn't committed. And then the then national president, Dax, sort of took me into staying. Said, "Oh, if you want to stay, I'd like you to stay. We'll tip the other bloke." So I don't really want to tip him. I don't want to take his position because he was an old mate of yours. He was a mate of mine. But the option was either walk or keep it. And if I had walked, the club would have gone nowhere, bro. It was going nowhere. He had it for a year. They had him and the other two had a tin shed next to a transvestite massage parlour in South Yarra. They never fucking rode, never brought any noms in, didn't grow the club, they did fucking nothing. And Sydney were getting tired of it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I remember. I've jumped on with my boys, there's 10 of us straight away. We grew to a lot. From nothing to 4 chapters. I know. We grew. And that was all you? Yeah, all me. Yeah. There was another, my offsider was involved as well. I can't take credit away from him. But you grew it and you ran it with authority, with fairness. Oh, yeah. And you guys were like the original Nike bikies. They weren't all bikies. A lot of them were smart guys. And having seen a lot of bikies, I used to be next door, and I've known people in all clubs and had, we're up at Negotiate where we'd do our Australia Day run for Children's Hospital, Fidelity's gym. We'd have members from different patch clubs early on, and we're able to sit down with them, negotiate, and say, look, this is not a club ride. So you guys can wear your colours, but this is the order you're in. We're able to pull that off. Yeah. And I guess one of my observations through that world is that the guys at the top, the leaders, could probably do well in anything they apply themselves to, whether it be in the straight world or the bikie world or a criminal world or a business world or anything else. And that's probably 5 or 10% of the guys at the top. But then a lot of the guys that come on board below are pretty loose, don't belong somewhere, and a lot of them don't have got a brain in their head.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of them are looking for a home. A lot of members just want to, they enjoy the brotherhood, and they like the lifestyle. But with us, with our club, it was more as my social network, just my social friends that we just thought, we'll have a laugh, we'll ride once a month. We're not, we're not in too deep. And, we catch up once a week, pay our dues, and it's always family, work, then club. It wasn't club first.
No.
So we didn't dominate our lives.
You didn't live didn't wear your patch around there in your lounge room?
I'd implemented a strategy myself to protect myself and my members from themselves. So I didn't allow them to ride around during the day with colours on. You only rode with your colours when you came to the clubhouse or we went on runs. Outside of that, you want to ride your bike, knock yourself out, but don't wear your colours. And don't annoy cunts and don't intimidate people. We never came into the clubhouse before 7 p.m. because there's local work. We didn't want our hobby to interfere with their profits. So we're respectful and mindful of the community, and we just did things a bit differently.
Yeah, you really did. And I think that you just summed it up by saying your hobby. It wasn't the first and only thing in your life. It was third or fourth at best. It was just, which is probably why you weren't going to be like a lifetime.
No, I was never. I was put there for a reason. I did my job and I tapped out. So to grow the club, give it infuse a bit of life into it, and then fuck off, which is exactly what I did.
And we go way back. I opened my gym in Brunswick in 1994, moved here and became Australia's first 24-hour gym in 1998, which was about when you got out of prison. You'd been in and around Brunswick all your life, so we kind of always knew each other.
Yeah, I'd always heard about Tony Doherty. You're a legend, still are. Always talked about. So, and look what you've grown. You've grown a little empire here.
Well, we've grown something that's become world famous, and I guess somewhere for people from all walks of life to feel comfortable. That I've always had this thing that you leave your hat at the door. I don't care what your past is, who you are, whatever. Don't be a prick. Don't mess up in our gyms. I won't tolerate it. And one thing I probably, looking at your story and some of our parallels, I know that when you had your nightclubs and strip clubs and biking clubs and all that, no one messed up in your clubs. No one.
Well, look, we never had any real problems, so that was good. But Melbourne is different to other states. Like this, Sydney is a totally different animal. Melbourne, there's a lot of respect, especially in the underworld. There's a lot of respect for each other. Obviously you can have enemies in the underworld that you want to kill and you get on with it or whatever. But generally speaking, most people involved in the underworld will pick up a phone and say, "I've got a problem with this, and this. Can we sort it out?" And then if it doesn't get sorted out, then they know what to do. But there's usually a phone call. So people are mindful of other people's territories, and I wouldn't go into someone else's backyard and play up. And generally, people didn't come into my backyard and play up.
Yeah, but I think when you draw that line in the sand, you attract a different level of respect. So I know that when you had the clubs and you bouncing and all that sort of thing, if they knew it was your place, no one wanted to mess up because one, they knew the consequence, but two, as a level of respect. And I always took that on with the gyms, and you know what I'm like here, like a maniac. No one messes up in our gyms. No one leaves their weights out. Yep. No one bullies anyone. No one makes anyone feel uncomfortable. We don't tolerate creeps.
Yep.
Nothing. Everyone's got to feel welcome. I don't care.
It's a healthy environment that you're safe in. It's safety first, and so you can come to your gym and you're always safe.
Always. Yeah, and everyone is, Joe. And that's why I've always felt that, we can have a high court judge, a bikie person, a social worker, someone who's down on their luck, someone who's suffered mental illness and depression, and some AFL athletes and some superstar bodybuilders, the WWE when they're in town. They can all be in here training together. Everyone's equal. Everyone puts away their weights. There's no exceptions, and no one messes up.
It's fantastic.
And I think, that's probably something I learned early on. So when I moved to Brunswick, because I know you talk about Aussie wogs, and I talk about wog Aussie. So, I moved from Bendigo, and there was no wogs in Bendigo when I grew up. There was
All
all Aussies. It was all like Catholic schools and Aussies, and very, very Christian. There was, there was, the lead boys used to come up to muck up at the nightclubs that I worked at, and the Italians would come up from Carlton, this and that. But generally, it was a very white Aussie, old school kind of country town. And I come to Brunswick, I was really green, Jay. I opened up, always wanted to come to Brunswick. I always knew I wanted a gym in Melbourne, and it was never a question of which suburb. It was like,
Brunswick.
Yeah, I had mates went to uni and they had a place in Parkville, and we'd come a couple of pubs in Brunswick, and I knew some other people who said, oh, Brunswick. And it was just, that was always going to be it. And I just liked it, because when I moved here in 94, it was a melting pot of the world. I remember, like, in our street, there'd be Italian, Greek, Turkish, Lebanese family, a couple of skippies, Aussie ones, and another family of Lebs, 3 families in one house.
Yeah.
And everyone got on, and we're real neighbours, and everyone got on. And when I first moved in, I learned some, I had street smarts, and I'd been a bouncer and all this, but I didn't understand culturally I didn't expect culturally what Brunswick was going to teach me. Right. And the Lebanese, your mob, from day one were the most loyal members and still are. I've still got probably a dozen from 1994 who joined Doherty's gym, have never been to another gym. Their kids have come to our gym, the whole family's come to the gym, and they've been wonderful members. And I got to know them really, really well, and just know how loyal that culture is. Right. And Brunswick, Aussie Lebs and Aussies who, and I've been and eaten with them. They've taken me in and rented me houses when I was broke. All sorts of things I could list forever. But one thing I learned really, really early on was, I might have, a young hectic bloke come in and he's a bit behind on his payments for the gym. And I guess the first couple of times I put him on show in front of his mates and say, hey, you got to pay your fucking bill. I'm behind in my rent. What do you think this is? Yeah. And a couple of times, a couple of people arched up and wanted to get it on. I'm like, Jesus, this is aggressive. And someone pulled me aside and said, just do it privately. Yeah, and I learned that. Yeah. Okay, in this culture, don't put people on show. There's a lot of pride, and maybe someone's doing it hard. If you pull them aside, just say, hey, bro, I'm getting behind in my rent or my power. And those first few years when we were in Union Street, I get the power cut off every second month, and everyone had to pay their bill. So I learned really, really early on just about the art of negotiation with Aussie wogs in Brunswick. Just said, don't put anyone on show. Yeah. Pull them aside and say, I don't want to have to do this in front of your mates. And there was a great lesson for me, in negotiation that I've taken to all walks of life.
Absolutely. Like, I would be mindful of that as well. Try not to put anyone on show if you can. If you're putting them on show, you're putting them on show for a fucking reason, because you want to embarrass them. Yeah.
And that's sometimes you have to. And now, in the world I'm in now, sometimes that has to happen in business, and otherwise, people need to learn their lessons and learn them fast and learn some manners.
If you get a good Lebo, you get a good Lebo. Like,
fuck yeah.
Lebanese, I'm sure Turkish, all of them the same. But I know Lebanese that they'll sleep on your doorstep to protect you.
Mate, I've had nothing.
They're hosting you, they'll protect you.
Nothing but love, Joe. They've been unbelievable. When we moved from there to here, they bought their trucks and trailers and families and helped me lay the rubber and move the equipment. And, they've been with us from day one, and it's been amazing. Really, just getting to know that culture, and then sort of realising how much, as a white Aussie from a little country town, what I learned about family. From the Italians, Greeks, and Lebs particularly. Just that family first, and what you do for each other and everything else. So I became part of that culture. I've been here for 30 years. It helped me to be a better dad and to make sure that my kids are really, really close. And I never let any rift happen in our family. And, some stuff that I think a lot of white Aussies kind of lost their way. And
it's different cultures, bro.
That was why it was just, you've been here forever. You've seen Brunswick over the years, sort of get more gentrified and changed, but it's fucking pretty cool joint.
In the early 80s, it was predominantly Lebanese. Yeah. My mum and I used to come here and visit on Sydney Road. One of her friends' relatives, he used to have George. He used to have the Lebanese newspaper. He would print it up here. They had a shop and a house here. We were there all the time, just up here. And it was predominantly Lebanese. It's all changed now. The money's moved into the town a little bit. Lebos have moved out to the other side of the railway.
Yeah, they went to North Coburg or Glenroy or Pascoe Vale. And I remember when I finally, after many years, bought my first house before Jesse was born, before the first kid. So And we bought a house up in Hull Street off a Lebanese family. And they thought it was great. They said, the money we get for this, we go buy 2 houses.
Yeah.
And they did. They went, because they had that many people lived in, they needed to get some bigger ones. They went and bought 2 side by side, I think Pascoe Vale or Glenroy or somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the suburb, how Brunswick's evolved. But there's still a lot of the same old people. And you know, I guess through the fights and boxing and stuff, we've run into each other a lot over the years. There's always been a real mutual respect, and I've really appreciated you having my back. Remember one time, probably the first time, we crossed paths a lot of times. Don't know if you remember this. Yeah. And we'd opened our gym in Dandenong, so I guess it's about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'd done a T-shirt that said SYLG on the bottom, support your local gym.
Yeah.
Right? And you had a new chapter at open.
And the blood rocket on it.
Yeah, we had a rocket it was like a bikie style T-shirt, but support your local gym.
My offsider had an issue with it.
One of your offsiders down in one of your chapters had an issue, and he sent his noms in.
Yeah.
And they came in quite rudely, and there was a young girl working at the gym, and they took all our clothes off the shelf.
Yeah.
And said, you can't have that on your shirt, support your local gym, because we have support your local commos or whatever. I'm like, well, it's nothing to do with you.
I think they had the same colours as well, black and gold. Were they black and gold?
One of them was. There was a whole patch of different colours, but there was a yellow shirt with black writing, Yeah,
I remember vaguely.
But it was not a shot at a club.
No, of course not.
It was a gym. Like, for fuck's sake, you guys have got yours. You know, we've got members here at the club. We've always been good. Shit, what am I going to do? So I rang someone who knew you. I said, can you give me Jay's number? But one thing I've learned from you, and you've always said, and I've always said, you got a problem, pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone.
I'm not going to talk behind your back or bitch about your person out there, because that's going to end badly for everyone. So I called you, and you said, walk me through it, and I told you, said, no, that's cool. I can't come and take your fucking shirts, bro. You know, maybe,
of course not.
Maybe watch your colourways with this shirt, but I'll have them drop back. And to your credit and to your word, the shirts would drop back. Never heard from it again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was, it wasn't really an issue for me. Unfortunately, it was an issue for you, but you were in the right, and we resolved it.
Immediately.
Just a phone call, mate. That's all it took.
Yeah, we've always had that mutual respect. And then there was that famous night, I showed you the picture before, I told you we'll put it up, at the boxing. So Danny Green had a world title fight on in Melbourne.
And he won.
What a night.
Great fight.
And he had a couple of tables set up.
What a legend.
VIP. Like, what a legend. He's going to come on my podcast. In fact, I called him last week and told him you were coming on.
Fantastic.
He was wrapped because obviously he's Mr. Perth and you've spent half your life in Perth. I've got a gym over there. So everyone watching from Perth, we love it. But Greeny invited, and he's one person, no matter how much success he had, who remembered where he'd come from and everything else. And him and I were talking, we don't even know how, but somehow he ended up using my gyms as his training base for the last 3 months before all of his big fights.
That's good.
Yeah, and particularly in the city, when we had the ring in the city, Doherty City Gym, he'd come in, and he was so smart because he'd say, come down and watch me spar tonight. And it'd be like 7 o'clock, then it'd be 8 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, then 10 o'clock. Come down, we're sparring tonight. I go, what time? He goes, 11 o'clock. Fuck, I'm going to be in bed 11 o'clock. And I couldn't work out why. His trainers and he had worked out that the main event's always 11 o'clock at night. So there's no point in him being sharp at 6 or 7 and 4 in the afternoons. Right. So for like that last month, man, he'd bring that whole entourage in at 11 o'clock at night. They'd train and spar for 2 hours. So he was so fresh at night. Anyway, I had this particular fight. I've been training at the city gym. He said, look, I've got a VIP table. I took Toby along and everyone bought everyone. Yeah. And what he didn't know, is that the Herald Sun, bastards, had hidden the camera up in the truss.
They actually hid the camera?
Yeah, this is what I was told later.
So it wasn't a photographer?
No, because if you look at the shot, it's shot down.
Right.
So I think they had a camera hidden in the truss. It was some sneaky. Yeah. It was like a sniper camera or one on a stick or something. Good stuff. From another level.
They got my good angle. I'm happy with that.
They got everyone's good angle. So this one photo was like, all the bikie hierarchy of Melbourne's come together, and it was the who's who. John Kizzen from Perth. You were there. I was there. Mick was there. JK was there. Everyone. Now I'm the only one in there that's not of that world or any kind of crook. I'm just a gym owner from Melbourne, and they put me down as colourful gym owner and Mr. Big.
But you know everybody.
I know everyone.
Yeah, you cannot know everybody. You're in the industry. You have a gym. All those people train.
Exactly.
We all train. Where do we go? We go to a gym. We go to a friendly gym that's a safe environment, which is your gym.
Always.
Especially if you're in the underworld. You want to go and train without having to worry about carrying a gun in the gym.
Well, and we've always had a policy, like if someone comes in, and this is from day one, Jake, and I learned this from, a lot of your mates that trained at my place, and some of the ones that I met at your book launch were members from back in the early '90s that didn't know you and I were mates, and just it all came to. We'll talk about that, but I've always had a thing too. That if someone just walks in off the street and says, "There's Jay here, I've got to go see him, give him a message," it's no, take a seat. We'll have someone check if he's here, and he'll come out and see you. And if someone you don't want to see, you can go out the side door. Someone you choose to come out and see, then you can, because no one's ever been ambushed in our gyms. We've had some pretty hectic stuff, as you know, but we've always been protective of all of our members, and it's for everyone. And I think hit the nail on the head that in that world, everyone trains and everyone wants a friendly gym. So from day one, I always said, we'll get the 5% of people that no one else wants. And our members from the underworld, from all worlds, were so grateful. And here's where it kind of worked out funny, that the celebrities were the same, because they knew they could come here and be left the fuck alone and be safe, and no one would get in their face, or no one would be paparazzing them or taking a picture when they got their legs in the air, or when they're, that unflattering photo. We don't tolerate it.
It's good.
One story I always tell is Tiger Woods, the famous golfer. So he was in Melbourne, and it was his comeback after all that scandal, where he'd left his wife and he messed up on pain pills or whatever it was. Remember
that scandal began in Melbourne. A Melbourne reporter fucked his life.
Is that right?
Yeah, bro.
Right, back at the start.
Yeah, this reporter was sitting off him at the Crown and noticed escorts going up and down, and put two and two together, watched the floor, did a bit of a investigation, discovered the escorts were going to him. And that's when the story broke, and that's when he got divorced and his wife was fucked up.
Well, the funny thing is, his comeback was back to Melbourne again.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like a couple of years later, he hadn't played golf, and he come out to play in the Australian Open. And it was a funny story because someone through media had said that he could train down at the Collingwood gym at Olympic Park. And he was on his way there. And this is where networks are so important. He was on his way there, and the driver called ahead and they said, no. When our footballers are here, we don't have anyone else here. He can't come and train here.
Really?
And the driver was like, hold on a minute, bro, I'll make the call.
Tiger.
And the driver was one of our guys. Right. Just so happened, I know Tony Doherty. I'll call him.
Yeah.
He got my number, and he goes, hey, I think it was Vinny here, I'm in the car with Tiger Woods. He's just been, made to feel unwelcome at the Collingwood training facility. Any chance he'd come to your place? He's staying at Crown. Would the city be okay? He said he's got media all over him. That's why we wanted to go to Collingwood, somewhere private. Can you do something for us? I said, we'll meet you there and work it out. He said he wants to train tomorrow morning. Now he's pissed off, but he wants to train 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I said, all right, this is what we're going to do. So we had an extra member of staff there every day that he was there. We had someone stand 5 metres from him and say, no one will approach you for a photograph or your training.
Yeah.
Right? They got helicopters following everyone outside of Crown Casino. So what they did, they come down the back alley in Banana Alley by the river.
Yeah.
I'd have someone
I
there
used to use
waiting.
that alley often, getting in and out of the gym.
Right, you did.
Yeah.
A lot of people have.
Because you had to park, there's nowhere to park, so you'd park in the alley, just jump the fucking fence.
Yeah.
Easy.
Right, and then we had the back doors locked, and those who knew it, there was a code. Anyway, so I'd have someone waiting there to greet him, umbrella. He'd come out of his car in the back door, and he was there for 2 weeks. Man, what a trainer. But no one, the media never worked out where he was training. Not one photo got taken. And he signed the wall for me when he left, and his manager said, he hasn't signed even a golf ball in about 15 years.
No way.
He doesn't do that for anyone. Wow. And I had a photo with him right at the end. I waited till it was done, and I said, Tiger, I'm not going to post this photo until you've been home for at least 2 weeks, I promise. He goes, I don't doubt it for a minute. He goes, do you know this is the first gym I've trained in the world where I felt safe, I felt secure, I've been left the fuck alone, I had the best workouts I've ever had.
You did the job properly, bro.
Yeah, we did it properly.
You did the job properly. You thought about it and executed the way it should have been executed.
For everyone.
Exactly.
And that's what I mean. It doesn't matter who you are. If you need that extra care, we're there to deliver. And we worked out how we got really good at it. And then he told that many people. And then a lot of celebrities are trained there. So the UFC guys train there. The WWE, it's their home away from home when they're in Melbourne, because they know we're not going to publicise it. Yeah. And if all the fans, all the sickos are waiting out the front, we'll sneak them in the back. Yeah, but nice. we did right by him. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. Man, he was taught how to train so professionally, probably from high school or even earlier. I've never seen anyone with better, you know what I'm like about technique, with clean and press, with snatch, or Olympic weightlifting movements, front squats. Unbelievable. His technique, he was on a timer. Everything was, he was the most
pedantic,
but also just always on time. Like, you could set your watch. You said he was going to be there at 5 a.m. It's 5 seconds to 5 the car would pull up. He was never once late. If he said, I'm leaving at 7,
Professional
he's in the
athlete,
car at 5 seconds to 7. So professional. You know, and it's just an example of how we help to build our brand and to build trust with people from all walks of life where, man, everyone's got to feel safe here. And, you know, I learned a lot of that from your people. We really did. From early on, people just like, hey, bro, you know, we're going to train here, but we won't have any trouble. We're never going to have any trouble here.
Yeah, no, good.
And that's why even him, you got to put your weights away, Tiger. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he did. And here's the thing, you know, when we've had celebrities and actors and AFL stars and people like him and Danny Green's camp and all, they always put their weights away. It's always some little try hard, you know, medium size.
Now I'm feeling guilty.
You know,
I think I left a couple of dumbbells behind.
You know, and I think it's funny, and I know you've done a lot of good things for young men in the prison system and out.
Yeah.
You know, that here, and I know, especially a lot of the young lebs early on, you know, just get a bit ahead of themselves, get a little bit of holes in their manners, and they'd come and they'd talk down to one of the staff at the counter or they'd test me out on the weights. And I was always really, really firm with them to say, bro, I'm doing you a favour. You know, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be fucking rude to people. Don't talk down to people. And the amount of young guys that have come through Brunswick that the gym has set their life straight, you know, where they might have been going down a path or they go to juvie for a little bit, come back to the gym and go, right, just going to give you some discipline. You've got to come every fucking day and you've got to learn some discipline and understand you got to make choices in life. If you don't get that, a lot of them are highly strung, you know, if you don't get that devil out.
It's that blood, bro. Levos, Turks, Persians, they just hot-blooded like that. It's very easy to get a young kid that's very capable, that's a really good kid, and if the wrong person gets a hold of that kid, they end up manipulating him into doing things that he shouldn't have done. It doesn't end well, mate.
Seen it, man.
I've seen it time and time again.
We both have.
Real good kids end up doing some stupid shit because some manipulating cunt got a hold of them.
But I hope to think we've saved a few along the way too, Jay.
I'm all for, mate. When I was running the club, I looked after my boys. I wouldn't let them play.
I know you did. I know.
I wouldn't let them play up. If there was anything to be done, I'd either do it myself or just cancel it because it's not achievable. I would never get anyone in trouble.
I know that you always, health and fitness has always been a huge part of your life and your discipline with martial arts early on. It's probably why you didn't mess up worse when you were a kid because you weren't a big drinker.
No,
you were so into your fitness and your fighting and, you know, your kung fu and all that kind of business early on. And then, you know, in jail, as I said, all you had to do was just keep doing push-ups, keep your head straight. How important is it, that connection, mind and body fitness?
Oh, it's very important. I found that I used to express myself through the gym, through exercise. So I'd release a lot of my anger and frustrations, and it also made me feel good. And, you know, when you're training 4 hours a day in prison and you're reading 2 hours a day, there's not much time left to do anything else. So it's very important. There's a huge connection between both.
Right, and then you get blown up in a car, almost lose your leg. What's the first thing you're thinking about is rehab and exercise and getting fit again?
Yeah, not really. First thing is who we're going to kill, how many are there?
Once you get that out of the road,
Okay.
you know you're going to have to be fit.
Yeah, I trained in hospital.
I know you did. This
I
one
used to have my girl brought in the bands.
Yeah.
I had the bands set up. I was still training every day, mate. I used to drive the doctors fucking mad. When I told you that story about the plate slipping off my ankle, I didn't tell you the whole story. I was doing sit-ups, elbow to knee.
Yeah.
And that caused the fucking movement that fucked my whole leg again. Couldn't wait to do exercise, bro.
I know.
Even highly medicated, I was still fucking training, mate. Because training for me, exercise for me is like, I'm my own weapon. Like you're your own weapon. I'm going to carry weapons as well. But the point is, if I'm not capable, I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
If I'm not strong, I'm vulnerable.
Now, you've said when that all happened, when you got blew up, you'd probably dropped your guard a little bit, become a little bit complacent.
I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy looking after my kids. Like I hadn't had my kids for a while. So having them back again, I was really fucking into being a dad. Like I was 24/7 a dad. I had a girlfriend. I wouldn't let her come to the house till after 9:30 p.m. It was all about the kids. If they were not at school, they were with me all the time. We did everything together, their activities, everything. So when you're so committed to being a father, you forget who you are. And I didn't see the signs. I was apparently followed for 3 days. I didn't even jury. You know, I mean, there was no reason for that to happen anyway. There was no reason for me to be uncomfortable, paranoid. But still, if I didn't have my kids, I would have noticed a little bit more, would have been paid a bit more attention. For example, when that happened in the gym, that's me paying attention.
Yeah, when the lady
That's unusual.
was cold.
That's unusual. We need to...
Did you follow up on that? Do you think it was...
No, I hadn't been back since. So I haven't followed. Look,
Or just all...
Look,
I mean, every scenario is going to play over and over in your mind,
I
right?
tell you what it could have been. It could have been something as simple as this. Obviously, there was a paid hit. Obviously, people knew about it. She made it known about it. I thought, I don't want to be one of the last persons seen to talk to him because there's going to be interviews.
Yes.
So she may have found out about it through her, I don't know who her network was.
Yeah.
And
Stay away from him
she
today.
might have been a bit smart, thinking, oh, I better not be seen talking to him because cunts are going to get interviewed in about 2 hours. See? Could have been some, I'm not saying she was involved, but that to me was a sign. It was a signal. And I picked up on it.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Picked up on it later.
a bit, I wish if she had done the day before, my reaction would have been a bit, I would have been a bit more
Yeah, but
prepared.
there's always ifs. I mean, if and but and why.
Yeah.
You should have. I mean, if you hadn't thought, this is a brand new Mercedes, an AMG Mercedes, there shouldn't be this noise coming out of the motor.
No.
When I stopped. I mean, there's...
I was
there's
going
your
straight
first
to
one.
Mercedes, but then it drove okay, so I went to the fucking gym. There's a lot of ifs. But my car was also always parked in the basement. You can't access this basement. The owner of that building, his shops were getting blown up all the time. So he had cameras everywhere, security up the arse. It was a very secure living facility. You couldn't get into that basement.
Right.
So, but that didn't stop someone from pulling up beside the car and just rolling something underneath it. But who would have fucking thought? For sure, there's going to be a shooter. It's going to be a shootout. You're going to pull up the light, someone's going to take a shot, you're going to shoot back, or normal.
In hindsight-
Fucking normal, bro.
In hindsight, if that had been a better hitman.
He uses fucking explosives. And he fucks that up. Like, seriously, bro.
And, you know, and I know it's really rocked you to think your kids may have were in the car when that device was...
Look, I'd hate to think that was going on, but it's possible.
I mean, they could have done away with the gym. It's possible.
It's possible.
But you got to go through all this. Now, what about these days? You're back here. You're hyper vigilant. You're super careful.
Yeah,
These
normal,
days,
bro.
just-
I'm always careful. Before, during, after, I'm still always careful. But look, it is what it is, bro. If you're going to go, you're going to go. You can't, it's all written. You
I mean, you've gone 60. We've both gone 60. You probably didn't think you'd make 30, 40, 50. I didn't. Here you are. I mean, you've lived 100 lives, Jay.
Well, I have, and I'm still going. Look, I never think about death, to be honest with you, but it's all in God's hands. When you got to go, you got to go. Simple as that. Doesn't really matter.
It's been an amazing story. Did you learn a lot about yourself writing the book?
Look, that book was a bit of fun. I'm surprised myself, actually, that I've written a book. It's not my forte.
I know. It's unbelievable.
But no, it wasn't really a walk down memory lane. It was just like this, smash a few stories together, have a bit of a laugh and see how we go.
And you did a lot of that when you were in rehab, when you were laid up?
Well, yeah, I did it. I did most of it in 2022, really, when I was doing school runs. I'd get up a bit early and give it an hour or two of writing, and then do the school runs and get on with my day. I found that time of day was best for me. I was clear.
Yeah.
There was no noise. The kids were still asleep. And
And Greg Roberts, your great mate who wrote the bestseller Shantaram, how much did he help with the writing process and just the self-belief to do it?
he's the one that inspired me to do it. He actually told me to do it. So I followed his lead. He's a good mentor, Greg. He just appears always at the right time. I mean, when we first got out of jail, we spent a lot of time together, and there'd be, I was still very hot-headed and very aggressive, and there'd be a situation where I'm going to tool up and go and get on with it, and he would just fucking appear, mate, and talk me out of it.
He's been your voice of reason, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's actually a blessing.
It's funny, like, I guess as an alpha kind of guy and as a leader, you don't have a lot of mentors because people are intimidated or whatever. Mm-hmm. You've had mentors, and obviously in the underworld, you've had mentors in the outside. You've had mentors in business that have taught you how to make some great legitimate money with property deals, investments, and mentors. I know early on, the guy that brought you into the negotiation and consultancy business was a great mentor.
Okay, Leo, yeah, it's very good. I remember the first time I was in a position with Leo, and we had to mediate a thing, situation. So I brought the other bloke in, put them together, and I went off. There he goes, what are you doing? So I'm just going to take a piss. He goes, no, bro, get back in there and introduce the situation, bit of background history on both of them, and tell them where you want to go with this. I said, oh, okay. I had no fucking clue, bro. So I did, and it went really well. This turned out to be a big deal, actually. It was a really big deal. It was worth a lot of millions of dollars that I was in a position to, dictate what was going to happen. And that was through Leo's guidance.
I've always had a thing in negotiation where you kind of know what you want before you go into the room. That's a lot easier. You haven't got to have a script. You just got to know, I've got to be happy to walk out with a certain result. And I find you usually get it if you know what you want before you go in.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, and probably what makes your business easier is they've got no clue about what they want or what they'll accept. And if you've kind of worked out where that sweet spot is, it's pretty easy to sell.
Yeah, it is easy to sell. Unfortunately, though, in this industry, sometimes it's really complex and you're not getting the full story or the right story. And each person is biased. Their version of events may not be completely accurate. So you got to sift through all the bullshit.
Right? So there's three sides to every story. Yours,
please.
mine, and then the true one.
This is why an adjudicator who's got the influence to dictate what's going to fucking happen, gets a result. Rather than wasting 3 years in court, you sift through all the bullshit. So that's that, sweet, that's the result. And they usually comply.
So you're still doing some work these days?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's where the money is, bro. Mediations, resolutions.
And they come to you? You don't need an agent or anything else, people just seem to find you?
Always find, work always finds you, bro. I mean, there's lots of work. There's no shortage that comes in out of hand.
Never, right? And the bigger the stakes, the more they come. Now, if, everyone, when you get interviewed, talks about all your underworld past and all your contacts, and I think we've heard enough of that. You become great friends with some royalty in Dubai with your horse breeding and everything else. Yeah. I mean, you've literally walked with kings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, this is the facet and I guess the intrigue of you, Jay, is that you can survive in any world, And I know I could be here with, from my experience, I could be here with, crooks in the gym or just, kids that are just trying to make their way in the world, or meeting celebrities with Arnold and interviewing him, or on the the grid at the Grand Prix or something that I couldn't have thought up. And I'm still the same person. I don't change. You just try and conduct yourself the same way with everyone.
Yeah.
How good has it been when you've had those, because I have those, pinch yourself moments, where you've come from being, in solitary confinement Pentridge prison to being with princes in Dubai, looking at Arabian horses that are worth millions of dollars, being gifted. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was Sharjah, was the ruler of Sharjah, the king, in the palace. So I'd met...
Of which?
Sharjah. Sharjah is the second largest emirate. Originally, Sharjah was the main emirate before Dubai in the 90s grew to be a big tourist hub. So the first airport was in Sharjah, the first international hotel was in Sharjah, and then they needed money because they don't have oil. So to get support from the other Muslim countries, they had to toe the line a bit more Muslim, more Shari. More Shari, less Western.
Right.
So then Dubai went the other way, and they've done very, very well. But with Sharjah, so I met the manager of his breeding facility, Arabian horse facility, at a show.
A horse show?
A horse show. Julie Day. And he had some of the best Arabian horses from around the world. And I breed Arabian horses. And we were just talking, and I said,
And how long had you been breeding horses at that stage?
Him or myself?
You.
I've always had horses. I've had horses since I was like 10.
Yeah, I thought so, since you were a kid.
But I had a facility, I had a farm in Donnybrook, and I had probably 30 Arabians.
Right. So back to it, Julie.
So I said to Julie, fuck, I'd love to come out and check out his facility and see the horses. She goes, it's very hard to get into the palace. I didn't realize it was actually in the palace. She goes, but look, write him a letter, and I'll put it on the request. I faxed him all the requests in the morning. So I went back to I was working for a mining company back then, and we had a base in Jumeirah. So I went back to the villa, typed out a quick letter, described what I did with the horses, and we had a facility. We had similar breeding program, straight Egyptian horses, which is only 5% of the Arabian horses. And I admired his breeding program, and I'd love the opportunity to see his horses. And emailed it to her, she faxed it to him, then she rang me, she goes, I'll see you Wednesday morning, 7 a.m.
No way.
at the palace, send me a passport. I said, all right. So I had to go buy a fucking suit and understand all the protocol, because it's royalty now.
Right.
You're not fucking around here. And we got there at 7, and he had a big banquet there, and full facility in the stables. Looks full on, bro. Guards and shit.
And the banquet in the stables.
Yeah, the full banquet,
set up.
everything there. Like, he has guests all the time. He's international. Okay. So we sat to his left, and we talked about the horses, and he introduced all the horses as they were coming out, and he bred that mare with that stand for this foal and the reasons behind it. And he was preserving the straight Egyptians horses, because that's our culture, their culture as well.
So preserving the bloodlines.
Preserving the bloodlines. Anyway, so this went on for a while, and we got along really well. And then he said, have you seen my gardens? I'd like to show you my gardens. So he dismissed all the staff, Julie included, and we jumped in his little BMW and drove around the palace. And then he gave me a tour of the palace. This went on for like the whole day. And we just got along really well. So then I'd visited the facility a couple of times and always emailed her, and she'd always told him, and he'd come down and we'd see the horses and talk shit about horses, and anything he wanted to talk about, we'd talk about. He was just a really beautiful person. He still is a beautiful person. And then it got to the point where I was flying in and out of Dubai a lot because I was working for the mining company. And I'd come and left, and I didn't tell him. And he'd heard about it, and so I got a call from Julie saying, you can't come into the UAE without notifying His Highness in case he wants to see you. So, okay. So I was in Lebanon, and I was flying into Dubai to do a catch-up flight 12 hours later. And I told her, and she goes, it's the end of Ramadan and the beginning of Eid, so His Highness won't have time to see you. I said, no problem, we'll catch up for coffee in the morning before I leave. So she came to the hotel, the Intercontinental, and it's like 8 a.m. and she gets a call, where's Ahmed? Because my name's Ahmed. He was waiting for me. So we went down there and saw him, and it was a really good relationship. We had a really good relationship for a long time.
And did he gift you a horse or something at one stage?
He's gifted me a lot of horses. So he had the
That first one?
The stand, he paid $1 million for it. It was Ansata Imhotep, world champion horse. And he stopped using it. And it was in the stables at the clinic because they didn't have much space. I mean, they had lots of space, but he had so many horses. And I said to Julie, what's happening with that horse? Would he be interested in retiring into Australia? She said, I don't know, write him a letter. So I did.
Always the opportunist, right?
Yeah, so I wrote him a letter. I said, I really admire this and that. And I've got 60 acres of beautiful rolling pastures, and would you consider retiring Imhotep to Australia? He said, sure. He gave me the horse. And then I bought another horse to go with him because it's cheaper to travel, because you're paying like $35,000 per horse or $45,000 for one horse because you buy a block of 3.
Right.
So it makes more financial sense to transport 2 or 3 horses. So I bought another horse at the auctions in the UAE for like $40,000. And I went to quarantine, and that other horse had a tick infection, so the horses couldn't travel. So Julie, bless her heart, said, she was so upset because the cost. She said, Ahmad's going to be so upset that Imhotep couldn't travel because of this horse that he bought from Ajman, from the prince, and all this. He said, let's give him another horse. So he gave me another horse. And he gave me another horse, and he gave my kids horses. Every time he gave me a fucking horse, it cost me like $40,000 to bring him to Australia.
Oh, poor Jay.
So the last horse, I didn't take it. I left it there, bro. So I spent like $200,000 in transporting horses.
And did you breed with it?
I fly economy, the horses fly fucking business.
How good's that? And did you breed with it?
Yeah, I bred with it. I still got his semen, he passed away. But I bred it. I got a lot of good horses out of him.
And you still got horses?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I've got 300 acres.
I know. Different farm now. I know Donnybrook
Better farm.
got split up and you made a lot of money out of that.
Killed it there. Bought another farm, killed that. Now I've got really good land that's going to be worth a lot of money. Fucking kids, mate. Kids have killed it.
Hey?
The kids will be very happy.
They keep you pretty grounded, your kids, do they?
We do everything for the kids.
I know. We don't know what we're talking about. Obviously, we have a regular coffee. Might have been Saturday morning. We're talking about having teenage kids. Mine are a little bit older than yours. So I'm like, Jay, hang in there. They'll come good, but you're going to be enemy. You don't know anything right now. They're going to turn, and you just got to just ride it out.
Right.
Just love them every day. Just even if they're embarrassed and they hate it, just every single day.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up. our dads were really old school. You had the old Lebanese dad with his broken English, hard man. I had the Aussie old school dad. You know, his dad wouldn't have even given him a hug, let alone told him he loved him.
Yeah.
My dad was like that, brought me up, you know, firm but fair, but none of that affection. So then I thought with my kids, so my son, especially, you know, as a man to man, I've told him I love him every single day of his life. I don't care how embarrassed you are.
That's normal now.
You know what? It's a beautiful thing that we can express ourselves, and that our generation's probably been the one to change that a little bit. Go, you know, come, enough of that old school shit.
Yeah.
Like, life's short, and families, you see, grow apart because they just don't hold on so tight to that. And I think I learned that from 30 years in Brunswick, seeing the Wonk families and how close they stay.
Yeah.
And I've worked extra hard with my kids, just that, Jay.
You know, look, my kids now, my son included, he'll ring me before he hangs up on me. He says, love you, then hangs up. But if I don't respond with a love you, my daughter will repeat it 3 times, love you, like, yeah, I love you too, babe. But I mean, that a little bit of that possibly might have come from that new generation of tree hugging, expressing themselves blokes that went really extreme.
It went a bit far, but maybe we needed a little bit of a kicker to bring us back.
Yeah. Oh no. I see it. You're absolutely right. But I'm very affectionate with my children. That the advantage that we had that our parents didn't have. My parents were so focused on making money for the family because they were a degree away from depressions all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so they didn't get time to be affectionate to 6 children. They were working 2 jobs, looking after a household, trying to get us through school, trying to learn a language, trying to get a car license. You know, the luxury of being able to sit with your kids and give them a hug and express how much how you feel about them. They didn't have that luxury. We do.
Yeah. No,
Time has changed.
we were lucky to get second-hand footy boots, and, you know, sometimes leftovers had to last for days because, you know, it wasn't like now where everyone... I mean, I think this generation is probably the most spoiled and wealthiest generation we've seen. I mean, Australia, I'm going to ask you about some different countries, but you've travelled extensively.
Yeah.
And I have, you know, through the Arnold, 7 years on the road with Arnold. Every time we do an Arnold, so we did 6 a year, but every time we do one, whether it be in Spain or South America or Africa, the week after, Bob Lorriman, who was the president of the World Expo, sort of part of it, who became my best mate, we'd always go to a country where we'd never been to, you know. And quite often I'd go to, when we're in Africa, we'd go to, you know, the townships where you see real poverty, or in India where you see, you know, where you make Greek, the slums and these sort of places. And it gives you a different perspective. You come home and think, just people complain about nothing. Weather or this or the phone charge.
Well, there's a lot to complain about though, still. There's a lot to complain about. I mean, Australia, bro, like, if you look, scratch the surface a little bit and have a little bit of a look-see, this is such a fucking wealthy country, and the money is not staying in the country. It's all going out of the country. There shouldn't be any fucking homeless in this country, bro.
No.
We're a big fat island with thousands of kilometres of ocean frontage, all that seafood, all the minerals, all the gas, all the fucking oil.
The farmland. We should be the
Where's
food
all the
bomb of
money going,
world.
bro? Where's all the fucking money going? When Steve Bracks? Not Steve Bracks. What was the name of that Prime Minister that got fucking usurped by that female cunt? She took his job.
Rudd.
Was it Rudd? Steve Rudd. Was it
Kevin Rudd.
Kevin Rudd? Kevin Rudd came up with the best fucking plan ever. Once they mine that whether it's gold, oil, it's gone forever. Let's tax these cunts. As soon as they're going to tax them, the cunts that really run the country fucked him off. The power, the real fucking power, they fucked him off. That's what they need to do, mate. This is a very, very, very wealthy nation, mate. We're paying more for gas than they're paying when they export it.
I know.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's outrageous.
You know,
That fucking moron.
Dan Andrews pointing out that we can't have gas appliances in new houses. And we're exporting. How much of our gas goes to? There's a pipeline to Japan.
Why is he still walking around, this cunt? For fuck's sake, the damage is done. Seriously, they want to put kids in jail for fucking selling a bit of weed to support themselves, and let this cunt walk around and gave $1 billion back. What a fucking moron!
And that was before the lockdowns, Joe. I mean, what happened here in the lockdowns? I mean, you know, I became, you know, the spokesperson for the fitness industry in the media and got to do a lot of mainstream stuff, which was great for my brand. But it broke me, man. Like, everyone came out of all those lockdowns differently. But I tell my mates in America about our curfews, especially the ones like in Texas and Georgia. They're like, no way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen here. We got, you know, we got WhatsApp groups with militias that they try and fucking jab us or force us to stay home. Fuck that, there could be civil war. And I go, man, if we don't toe the line, they'll shut our businesses down. Like we had to QR code people to come to the gym. If we didn't, it was $100,000 fine.
Yeah.
And I had mates going, oh, you're pro-vaccine. I said, no, bro.
No, please.
I'm pro-staying alive. Like I'm fucking broke.
Did you get vaccinated?
I had to.
Oh my God. Are
Jay,
you okay?
Here, man, we
How's your health?
Oh, I'm fine.
So
But, you know, we
you must have got the placebo. So they weren't all contaminated.
look, I don't know. You know, look, everyone's got their own opinion about that, but I thought the shit I put in my body is a fuck. I've been vaccinated my whole life, but this was an experiment for the whole world, you know, where on control and everything else. So when I told my friends in America that we had a 5-kilometre curfew, we weren't allowed out at night, they'll fuck off.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You know, and in the fitness industry, you know, Victoria was locked down for 255 days with retail hospitality. The fitness industry, 367 days, our doors were padlocked shut.
Crazy.
You know, and some gyms were able to sneak people in the back or do whatever. I fucking couldn't because I've been such a big mouth in the media and spoke out against the government and the lockdowns and trying to get gyms on the same program as retail and hospitality. We were getting watched the whole time.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we were allowed to open again, and you had to have the QR code to go into a gym. And if one of your staff was caught unvaccinated, it was like a $100,000 fine. If they caught a member here without a vaccination certificate, it was $10,000 fine. Now, here's the funny thing. There was another guy, Tim, who fought alongside with me against the gym lockdowns. When we were open again, do you know only 2 gyms in Victoria got raided by the health department?
Yours?
Twice.
Really?
Absolutely. They come in. You remember that, Tim? They came in. And
Really?
they checked every single person. They made us lock the door. They checked every single person in the building had a valid vaccination certificate on the government
Fuck, mate.
app. And if they hadn't, I get fined. And I have
crazy.
mates go, oh, you got to let me in. I go, bro, you deposit $100,000 in my bank.
Yeah,
Fine.
fuck
If
that.
we don't get raided,
There
I'll
was-
give it back.
But there was a lot of panic. Granted, there was a lot of panic. But it could have been managed a lot better.
I think it could have been managed a lot better. I mean, there's nowhere else in the world was locked down more than Melbourne, Australia.
But this is what happens when you got a fucking moron leading the state.
Man,
And then
it became all about his press
he was elected,
conferences.
bro. He was elected. And they elected, like,
But you know what's fucking mind-boggling? They elected him again
it's fucking like,
after all that.
I don't get it. Like, when he cancelled that contract and gave back $1 billion, he tore up $1 billion. Didn't anyone sit up straight and think something strong
I
here?
told you, we were looking at the pictures before, and Arnold, I told him about it. He said to me, who does that? He goes, you know, I was governor of California for 11 years. I can't believe anyone would do that. He says, not the $1 billion. It's the next 25 years
Who's paying it
of
back?
jobs. No, that project would have generated.
Oh, yeah,
What
of
about
course.
that? What about the tens of billions of dollars in generated jobs and tolls on the tunnel and all the things
Yeah.
that you just threw in the bin? He goes, the $1 billion is the smallest part of it. He goes, did you think this through?
Yeah.
And it was the guy, he went blue and red and purple. And
See
he said,
that?
you're just here for the photo, take the shot. Because he wouldn't, when I brought the Arnold Sports Festival to Victoria, you know, and we got approached to put it anywhere.
Yeah.
We had to do a feasibility study and we had to do an economic impact study to show how much money we brought in. We're bringing in $21 million a year into Victoria's economy.
Significant. Very
I
significant.
didn't get one fucking meeting with the government, and he shows up to get a picture with Arnold.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to be in that picture. Fuck yes. But
Yeah, no, fuck it.
you know, we had the best time ever. And I learned more from him, you know, about politics, and about life, and about business smarts, and than anyone. And as a mentor, you know, he took me in and taught me media. That's why I was able to do all that press work and everything else.
He's a giant, mate. Jeez, just hanging off him for 5 minutes, you'd learn something.
Well, you know, you and I have been saying, I just watched and learned every single minute. 7 years on the road, 6 continents every year. I didn't miss one expo of all those years because to me, every one of them was a chance to learn from one of the smartest humans who's ever walked
He's so
the face of
smart.
the earth. I'm like,
People don't recognize him for his intelligence. He's so smart.
when you're the best in the world in 3 careers, right? Where you go from being the best bodybuilder ever to the highest paid movie star ever with broken English.
Really?
Right? Yeah, when he was doing those Terminators and all that stuff, he was the highest paid actor in the world. Then he went on to be governor of California. He would have been president, except you have to be born there.
Do you know what he
the
did?
highest office was governor of California. So to have that success in 3 careers,
Do you know what he did as governor?
tell me.
Do you know the power it takes to run a television?
Yes.
And then a 40-inch television will take X amount of power, and the 50-inch gets obscene, the amount of power that's wasted. He banned TVs over 40-inch
Did he?
to save electricity
Fun fact.
for the state. How smart is this cunt?
I mean, man, he fixed
Wastage.
highways and freeways and the canal system in California.
Having said that,
and
I
the
saw
solar-
a 100-inch at Costco the other day. I've got my eyes on.
Oh, mate, Costco. They're good, Costco. I go there. I'm a mess. I go there to get some drinks for the gym.
Yeah.
I go there because we buy our water there because it's third of the price of what this is Costco water. And I'll just walk out with new tools, hydraulic lifts, shit for the farm.
Unreal. Sorry, I cut you off for saying.
No, and so they introduced like solar power on every rooftop. They had 1 million homes in California had solar power because of him. And I got to go to some forums in South Africa where he was talking on renewable energy because he's really big on all that. And we went to Soweto where Nelson Mandela grew up. And because they went, it was really funny because no one there had phones and no one there had power. So they went directly with no wires. So there's no power lines and no phone lines because they went from 0 phones to mobiles, right? And they went from 0 power straight to solar. So remember that scene when we went there? And everyone in that township had solar panels on their roof. There's not one power line, no wires, because they went from no power to fully solar.
Wow.
And we got to talk to those communities that he got to address.
Great.
On that, I just learned so much, man. Like every fucking day I learned so much.
What did Andrews do? Dan Andrews, what did he do? What's his legacy?
You know what? Some people still to this day support him and rate him. Most people, especially anyone in business, just hate him and just there's a level of resentment and scarring, for what he did to our state and what he did to manage that pandemic so badly. Like no one else in the world did it worse. Anyway, we'll move on from him. Now, travel. You've been to some amazing places.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw 5 country names to you and just give me a 1 sentence on how hectic or how much fun or whatever. Russia.
Wow. Beautiful girls, bro. Yeah, outnumbered 6-1.
6-1?
Something like that, yeah. Love foreigners. Very hectic people, very strong. Don't get drunk with them, they want to fight you.
Yeah. They don't like smiles and friendly handshakes.
They got different personalities. Their sense of humour is different to ours.
Lebanon.
Lebanon's a beautiful country. It's like the Paris of the Middle East. People are amazing. Food's amazing. It's probably one of the only countries that I've been to that's so broken, but functioning well.
Continent. Africa.
Well, Africa's good. Cape Town, in particular, is really good.
Yeah, I went there every year. We do an expo in Johannesburg, and we'd always go then for a few days in Cape Town. Yeah. It was like a different country.
Yeah, Cape Town is amazing. Food's incredible. You can't spend money there. It's like we went to the equivalent of the Melbourne Cup there, and we had a booth, a marquee, and we ordered all the drinks and the mixers. Lots of drinks, lots of mixers. $90. You just can't spend money. Best Japanese food. You can't. 4 of us drinking, eating. You can't spend $100.
Did you go to the wineries? It's Stellenbosch
Yes.
Winery.
Yeah, I went to a couple of
the
them.
most stunning
Amazing.
place you've ever been. The background where you're sitting having a glass of wine, looking at those mountains and cliffs and hills and colours and.
Beautiful, but don't get. I mean, you have to tool up there. We always tool up there because don't get confused. It is beautiful, but it's also very fucking dangerous.
We had full-time bodyguards, armed guards everywhere we went, especially because we're there with Arnold. In Johannesburg, we had armed security with us from airport. We go on a safari. We actually had blue light support, so we'd leave the hotel. There'd be cops on motorbikes.
Yeah, nice.
Following us front and back with cars, and our own. Each one of us had our own tooled up.
Yeah, you're gonna have tool up.
And
I was always tooled up there.
They were some of the most hectic people I'd ever met. Because I'd talk to some of our guards and I'd be like, "What do you do when you're not doing this?" And they're like, "We're first responders for the gated communities."
Yeah. Oh no, unfortunately, because of the poverty, I mean, they do some horrible things there, and there's no consideration of life.
Now, say Greece.
Greece is amazing, bro. It's one of my favourite countries. I recommend it to anybody. Look under the car before you jump in it. But as far as the sun's always out, the beach clubs are amazing, the people are amazing, and they all speak English. Food's great, everyone's happy. Like, the Greeks here are different to the Greeks here. I grew up with Greeks, and we used to fuck around, and I learned some naughty words, which I repeated over there, and I was quickly told not to say that by respectful Greeks, which I didn't do anymore, like malaka and shit. I just thought it was normal. But no, if you're ever going to go to the Greek islands, I'd always recommend you go to Athens first for a few days, because everything on the island is available in Athens without the exorbitant costs.
Right.
So I don't even, I mean, I went to a lot of islands, and they're all amazing. But I drove on and drove off with my car, and I had villas organised, prearranged, so I wasn't getting raped financially. But for a tourist, you're going to get fucking hammered. But you can do it all in Athens. Athens is amazing.
Morocco.
I've not been to Morocco.
Well, I thought I read that you had. Okay, I blew that one.
No, sorry.
So Europe in general, if you had someone heading off to Europe, do you have a favourite spot there apart from Greece? Anywhere else?
Spain.
Just Spain?
Spain's amazing. Oh, I love them all. London, I love fucking Paris, I love them all. But if you enjoy sunshine and outdoor living, Spain, Greece, can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. So what's next for you, Jay?
I'm just getting started, bro. I'm going to hit the road again soon. I'll be off next week for a couple of weeks. Back, then off again. I don't keep still. I'm always travelling.
Don't stay still, you don't get hit, right?
Don't stay still, because you're going to get bored. Melbourne's beautiful, but it's fucking boring, bro.
You've had a hectic life, Jay. You know, one of the things I kind of scribbled down earlier was that you've lived large and you've lived on the edge.
Well,
A lot of people just live a very safe and normal life.
what is
Can you imagine that?
No,
You can't, can you?
I couldn't sit in one place for longer than a week. I've tried.
Can you imagine working 9 to 5 for someone else for your whole fucking life? Sit in a little box. You know, I was really lucky. I haven't told you this, but when I was a kid, you know, growing up in a country town, and they were trying to tell us you had to be a school teacher or a bank manager or an accountant. You know, and they'd have these careers classes. I didn't finish high school. I fucking hated school teachers, hated everything about it. But particularly the dream they were trying to sell me, to say, you know, if you don't do this, you're a failure. I'm like, and I saw Arnold on TV when I was like about to turn 14.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm going to be a gym owner, a bodybuilder, and a promoter. Ding.
Amazing.
And nothing else.
So you said it out aloud.
Absolutely. Told my dad.
Affirmations, bro.
Yeah.
All about it.
Said it out loud and said, I'm going after it. Don't know how, have no fucking clue. I'm just a fucking fat kid from the bush.
Yeah.
And early on I said, Arnold will be my business partner one day. He'll remember my name and I'll get to know him. Oh. And you know, work my way, just found a fucking way. Yeah. You know, and I stopped and think, shit. And I'd ask you the same question, but I know the answer. Would you trade all that and what I've been through, and there's been some hectic times there too. I've been blown up here, but you know what I'm saying. Would I train that to have a normal, safe life? Fuck no, I can't. I can't think of anything worse.
I have no regrets. I don't even regret getting blown up. Like, it's all builds your personality and part of your character and shapes you to who you are and what you become. I don't think I'm a failure. I mean, I'm happy at the...
You're not a fuck, Dad. You're one of the most inspiring,
Some say getting blown up, like...
I get it, but to give you a compliment, you're one of the most inspiring, centred, genuine and fair blokes I've ever met. You know, you've got an amazing curiosity, which I think when you meet elite people and, you know, people that have really been successful in life, they all seem to have a curiosity about them, where they just want to learn about cultures, about other people, to hear their stories and just to take a little bit from everyone. One thing I've known, as long as I've known you, over 30 years or something, you've never been any fucking different, bro. Like, you come out of prison, you're positive, and you got a spring in your step. You know, you get away from the bikies, get into the bikies, same old Jay. You know, someone tries to blow you up in a car, your kids are fine, you're happy. You come back here, you have some wins, you have some losses. Yeah, but you've always got a cheeky smile and a great disposition and time for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, consistency is really good. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm happy with my outcome. So I have nothing to complain about, actually. Even incarceration, I regret committing the crime, but doing the jail wasn't such a big fucking deal, bro. I mean, it's 10 years. Looking up, it's difficult, but when you get to the other end, it goes so quick.
Yeah, but that could wreck anyone else. And that's what I mean about a disposition, that you're kind of born with a positivity and a certain look. Like, you know, it could be one of your brothers or one of your mates did it a lot harder than what you did. And I know people who have done jail and done it really, really hard, and it's broken them. And I know people who have come out fitter, smarter, stronger,
It's a
and
challenge.
most of all, wiser.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's good. They got something out of it, something positive. I'd like to think I took some positivity out of that, and it's helped to shape me. Like, jail is not good, but if you let it eat at you, it can be really bad. You know, I've never thought about. I walked out of prison and never thought about it again. I never just let it all go, bro. It's gone now. It's finished.
I guess
Never think about it.
well, it must have been funny writing your book, having to almost go back into your memory bank and all this stuff you'd blocked out and forgotten
Yeah,
about. Oh, shit, where was that?
Yeah.
And I've asked you about writing a book because when I went to your book launch, I was going, hey, Jay, people have been telling me to write a book.
Should write a book.
Where do I start? And I remember the advice you gave me. You said, just write it all down. Don't worry about what order it's in. Don't try and the publishers figure all that out. Just write one chapter at a time. And the one thing that you stuck with me and you said, that Greg said to you, is if you think something's a boring story or no one will want to read it, write it down anyway. It might be your best one.
Yes, absolutely.
So I've actually done about half a dozen chapters
Good on
there
you.
because of you, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep punching, bro. Don't stop.
I'm trying.
The thing is, just start anywhere. Just write. It'll lead into another story. That's it. I mean, it's remarkably fucking easy, bro. I can't believe how easy it actually is. It's not difficult to write a book, man.
Yeah,
Just got to start.
check it out. And we'll wind up soon. But after the book, you become much more of a public figure. You're always kind of fairly private, well known, but you know, not doing media and all that sort of thing. You've done dozens of podcasts and news interviews.
Yeah.
And I think the first couple you're like, well, these cunts ask me these fucking tricky questions. They're journos, man. You walked into their house, you got to
shit
get some
myself.
hard-hitting questions. But I've watched a lot of them because we're mates, but also just in preparation. Because when I started this podcast, you were the first person I wrote down, honest.
Thank you.
I really want to ask Jay some questions no one else has, but also just sort of see how you've handled yourself in these. And you've really grown, man. Like you seem very relaxed now in front of a microphone and a camera. You don't mind a curly question.
When they first told me I had to do media, I said, fuck off.
You did?
Absolutely. There's no way. I'd be too embarrassed to talk to anyone on camera or on the radio. I was really scared, nervous to do that. And then they hit me with, I had to do it. So I did 5 radio interviews in one day, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was really, really nervous. But, you know, it was okay. It wasn't too bad. So then these sort of podcast scenarios where you're just sitting with an individual, you forget that what it actually is. We're just having a conversation. So it's not difficult.
Yeah.
Just if anyone's thinking about doing it that's a bit nervous, it's not as bad as you think.
Definitely not. I mean, it was a whole new world to you. I remember at your book launch, and we had a selfie, and you go, what are you going to do with that? I said, I'm going to put it on Instagram. You go, I've got to work that one out. What is it?
Yeah.
And I went to your PA immediately and said, set up an official Jay Mulcoon account before someone else does. And you weren't even on it.
I had no
that
idea.
day, you had no idea. You're looking at me going, can you teach me better? I go,
Yeah.
I can teach you a bit. Your kids will teach you way fucking more. Bro, it's so easy, and it's the greatest way to get your product and your book out there. And I think I was one of the first pictures you put up on your Instagram.
Yeah, I was
Thanks for
actually.
that.
It was a legend. Why wouldn't it be? But I'm still navigating through all that Instagram stuff. I get caught on the reels. My kids tell me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can be addictive. You can waste time and lose time, but you can also, I think for like, you and I were actually talking about this with Pete, our mutual friend, on Saturday, that, you know, our kids and that next generation, they're not watching or getting their news and world affairs from the TV. They're getting it all from Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever platform they're on.
Yeah.
And also podcasts. You know, like the most popular podcasts in the world are the ones delivering the news and interviewing the interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not tainted and filtered. And,
Not bound.
And no one's telling them what to say and what to do. So I think it's brought some honesty back into media and interviews, because it's not all you know, pure and clean and telling everyone what they want to hear. It's just fucking real.
Yeah, there's that Candace Owens. She's amazing. She's a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
They tried to shut her down by taking her off TV. Now look at her now.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching her. There's a lot of good podcasters. That's the future, bro. This is the future of podcasting. People want information direct,
It is.
unfiltered.
All right. Well, I think we're good. Yeah. No, just thanks for always being there for me, man. You've always had my back, you know. And you know, there's been times where I know you've vouched for me when people have maybe wanted to cause some problems. They've gone to you, and you're like, no,
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 absolutely.
Tony's one of us. No. Just chill the fuck out. And that's come back to me without you ever having to tell me. I just know you've always had my back, man. I really
But I'm not
appreciate
the
it.
only one. You're loved. You're like an institution. Everyone loves Tony.
Thanks, man.
Those scenarios you're talking about, the new generation that from different areas that didn't know who you were. But look, everyone loves Tony. This is the best gym ever. I love this. I was in the gym yesterday. Two people were talking. Two professional bodybuilders were talking, and there was one of them had a problem with a sponsor, a female. I said, go to this gym, mate. Straight up.
Good. Good. You know,
You'll be
you've
right.
always been an ambassador and a big part of it. You've got a lot of mutual mates, and but let's friendship and this journey continue. We'll always be here for you, bro. And,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know,
Likewise.
I know we'd do anything for each other, and I reckon we should finish off with a game of pool.
Let's do it.
Let's have a game of pool. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for coming on.